Judge, I have brought to court with me during the recess the paperwork that was delivered by a private citizen for Mr. Morris. I have removed the binder clip that I had on it. There are no staples. There are no paper clips in the packet. It's simply a packet of prepared documents.
Okay. All right, Mr. Morris. Now that you have your paperwork, anything else you want me to consider?
Yes, sir. I'm looking through it now, sir.
Okay.
I ain't seen it in a minute.
This is one of those courtroom appearances where you can tell within the first 30 seconds that logic is about to take the day off. We've got a repeat offender, not just legally, but mentally, back in court armed with the same sovereign citizen nonsense that already failed him once. And instead of learning from that mistake, he's doubled down. Same paperwork, same buzzwords, same magical thinking. The difference this time? The judge. Because this judge isn't confused, intimidated, or impressed. She's surgical. She lets him talk just long enough to hang himself with his own words, and then she steps in with precision. What you're about to see isn't just a defendant misunderstanding the law. It's someone who genuinely believes paperwork overrides reality. Trusts, DNA, maritime law, corporate fiction, all thrown into a blender and served confidently. And that confidence is what makes this dangerous for him. Because courts don't punish confusion, they punish willful ignorance. So as this unfolds, watch closely. Every time he contradicts himself, every time the judge redirects him, and ask yourself, how many chances does someone get before the court decides it's done entertaining fantasy?
Mr. Common law trust. It's just speaking about the trust. This was the UCC, just financial statement. It's a UCC statement with my own Alizé Morris and the trust name. The principal name was Octavius Alizé Taekwondo. And then it says, this is the entry of collateral by trustee / secure party credit on behalf of the trust estate. It's Octavius Alizé Taekwondo Trust in the commercial chambers under necessity to secure the rights, title, interest, and value therefore in, and the root or title from inception, as well as all property held in trust, including but not limited to DNA, cDNA, cell lines. There's I don't know what that word is right there.
Mr. Morris, I thought you said that they arrested the wrong person. They had the wrong person in jail. That's why I'm not sure what you're talking about some trust in your DNA and cDNA.
It says retina scans is what that said.
Okay.
Or retina scan.
Hold on.
Do we need to check your fingerprints or scan your retina to verify? Is that what you're asking me to do?
Oh, can you read this? I can't really read it like that.
Let me see. Maybe I'm not sure what's going on. You told me you were not Zatavius Morris. Then you just started reading something from a sheet of paper that said Zatavius Elise Taquan Morris.
Okay.
So are you or are you not Zatavius Elise Taquan Morris?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Smith,
my name, this is right here, sir. It's on. You probably can have a good chance reading it. Right here. This right here. Bill of service, tort and violation. Just had a judge look at this. I can't read all this stuff. Not to you. Alizé Morris, secure party, Billy, and principal of you or the agent fail not to. I don't know what that word is right there. To your oath that should be called to answer before one God and the most supreme.
I can't hear you, Mr. Moore.
All this stuff.
This is where the sovereign citizen strategy always collapses, right at the paperwork. Notice how he's flipping pages, searching for authority he doesn't actually understand. These documents aren't evidence. They're props. Filed UCC statements, trusts, secured party claims. None of this creates immunity from criminal charges. But in his mind, if he says the words confidently enough, the court is supposed to stop. What makes this moment telling is the silence. He's not explaining anything because he can't. Sovereign arguments rely on intimidation through confusion, not clarity. And the judge sees that instantly. She's letting him finish because due process matters, but she's also letting the record show that nothing he's presenting has legal relevance. If you're watching this and wondering why judges don't just shut it down immediately, this is why. Courts document nonsense, so there's no appeal argument later claiming they weren't heard.
Let me ask you this, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you saying, I'm looking at a complaint affidavit here, and on December 5th, according to this complaint affidavit, Gulf County Sheriff's Department pulled you over while you were driving and arrested you, and they ran your name, Z. Morris, came back as a convicted felon. And are you telling me that your name is not Zatavius Morris, or you're not the person they arrested on December 5th? What are you telling me? Did you give a false name? What are you telling me?
I ain't give no false name, Your Honor.
How did they get that name, Zatavius Elise Morris? Well, you don't answer that question. That probably has to do with, I'm trying to figure out, maybe Mr. Hill, you can help me. Is he saying that the Sheriff's Department arrested the wrong person?
Your Honor, in as much as I can.
Well, don't disclose any confidential, privileged information.
I raised issues when I had my pretrial discovery meeting with Mr. Morris pertaining to this case, because that's the only one I've got discovery on.
Yes, sir.
And I've done some independent research into that. Mr. Morris, or this individual, has this information that he's saying that he is not the person.
I'll take a look at whatever you want me to. I'm looking at the complaint affidavit. They said they had your driver's. They said you have your driver's license, and they ran your driver's license with that name.
I don't have a driver's license. So, I had it was a, what it was, restrict somewhere. You read the last page.
Oh, I'm looking at legal notice and demand to all state, federal, and international public officials. This is a contract and admiralty. This is some of that sovereign citizen nonsense. I thought you were saying that they arrested the wrong person. I'm not listening to any of that sovereign citizen nonsense. You told me they arrested the wrong person. If you're talking about admiralty law and that the first page was a trust and that you're the debtor, I'm not listening to any of that nonsense. When are we coming back?
Your discretion, Judge. I can tell you I've got discovery on the first case. I don't have discovery yet on the second case. I'm at your discretion, Judge.
Ms. Smith, when do you want to come back?
Judge, let's do the 6/27, our next available, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll come. And Mr. Morris, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I thought you were telling me they arrested the wrong person. I certainly don't want someone who hasn't. If you're the wrong person that they arrested, I didn't want you sitting in the county jail. But what you gave me looks like some of that admiralty law, sovereign citizen. I travel. I don't drive. I don't have jurisdiction over you. I'm not listening to that stuff.
This is where the script fully jumps the shark. Trust tied to DNA, retina scans as collateral. This isn't law. It's conspiracy theater. Sovereign ideology convinces people that their physical existence has been secretly monetized by the government, and that filing paperwork somehow reclaims ownership of themselves. None of it is real. None of it has ever worked. And the judge's reaction is critical here. She doesn't mock him. She doesn't argue philosophy. She simply grounds the conversation back in reality. You claim the wrong person was arrested. That's a real issue, if true. But the moment he pivots back into trust language, the credibility vanishes. Courts don't chase metaphors. They chase facts. This is the moment where his defense fractures beyond repair because he can't decide whether he's saying, I'm not that person, or I'm that person but legally immune.
Your Honor,
yes, sir.
You didn't get what I said. That I was an agent of the principal. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're talking about a bunch of stuff that people who believe themselves to be sovereign citizens parrot. And I told you I'm not listening to any of that. I'm not sure how you, the principal and the agent of your own, I'm not listening to that. Now, if you are wrongfully arrested, that's what I thought you were saying. I certainly want to listen to that. But if you are talking about trust and being the agent, and you're not the principal, and I saw something about admiralty law, I'm not listening to that.
So what Mr. King wanted to share with the court was that he's been kind of proactive. So he said that he's completed some defensive driving courses, some anger management courses and things like that. But we understand that the court's main concern is the alcohol. So if there is perhaps any sort of monitoring that Mr. King can have while he's out of jail, or perhaps testing, he would be agreeable to something like that. But we just don't feel like him being in jail. I personally, I don't believe that he's going to be a danger. He's got the support of his grandmother, who's here in court with us today. And like I said, he's gainfully employed, and he does have a child, and he does have a lot to lose, and he understands that, especially having been in here.
Ms. Hahn, it's not necessarily that I think he's going to be a danger per se. The concern that I have is that he's gotten 2 subsequent charges, one of which definitely involves alcohol, since he got a DUI. And so all of these things coming into play, you can present all of this to me as the reason why I shouldn't put you in your jail, but none of that kept you from getting 2 subsequent charges after a DUI. I don't understand what's going on. Like, now I'm supposed to feel bad. Oh, he's got a 2-year-old. Well, that was your choice. Nobody told you go out there and you got pending charges and your life is probably not stable and you out here having babies. I'm not a proponent of just willy-nilly having children and then using them to try and play on the court's heartstrings, because I feel like children deserve the absolute best that we can give them. And when we just out here having them and then trying to figure it out on the back end, I'm not a proponent of that.
Here's the fatal flaw in almost every sovereign citizen case: identity whiplash. 1 second, he's denying the name on the paperwork. The next second, he's referencing documents tied directly to that same identity. You can't have it both ways. If you're not the person arrested, then why are your documents attached to their charges? The judge is doing exactly what a good judge should: clarifying the record, not debating ideology, not indulging nonsense. Just asking a simple question: are you the person who was pulled over and arrested or not? And watch how he avoids answering. That's not strategy, that's panic. Because answering truthfully collapses his argument, and lying creates new charges. Sovereign ideology doesn't prepare followers for this moment, and it shows.
And I see your grandmama sitting back there with her hands over her face, praying for you and everything. And I think that's a good thing. But I think that you need to take some personal responsibility. You're 25, you've chosen to have a child and become a parent, but you also have committed, allegedly, you have 3 different pending cases, not charges. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pending charges before the court, and over the course of 2 years. And so I don't understand why I should now let you out again and risk you getting another charge. Because if you stay in jail, you'll come up next on the trial calendar. We can go ahead and try these cases and get them done. We can try them back to back to back.
So, well, 1 second, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could just say one last thing on behalf of Mr. King. Your Honor, obviously we still would like for him to be released, but I know that Your Honor is concerned about alcohol. Mr. King hasn't had any infractions involving alcohol or any issues with alcohol, at least since April of 2022. So it's going on almost 2 years.
August of 2022.
Well, I think the 7 is my understanding.
You gonna tell me he was stone cold sober when he went over there to the same person from the April incident? All right, I'm gonna let you have that one.
Thank you, Your Honor. But so, Your Honor, Mr. King and his grandmother was also kind of chiming in as well. Let me know that there aren't any concerns, at least we don't believe that there are any concerns that the court should have about alcohol. He's kind of been on the straight and narrow for over the last year. And so we would like the opportunity for him to get out of jail and kind of fight these charges from the outside. Because he does maintain with me that he's not guilty on all of the cases. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain to him as to why we won't go into the details of that here today as to what happened in each.
Positive he comes back to jail.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, draw up the order.
Thank you.
He'll go to he'll make an appointment with the probation office, and he'll test every 2 weeks. He misses them, like if he misses a test, he's coming back to jail. If he tests positive, he's coming back to jail for any substance, alcohol or anything else.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office, Mr. King. He's not to have any contact, no contact, not social media, not text message, phone, nothing with Frazier, KN Frazier. Any contact with her, he comes back to jail.
Thank you,
This
Your
right
Honor.
here is courtroom self-destruction. Without pressure, without cross-examination, he casually admits facts that the prosecution is required to prove. Judges live for moments like this, not because they enjoy it, but because the record becomes crystal clear. You don't need clever arguments when defendants volunteer evidence against themselves. And notice how fast the judge's tone shifts. This is no longer confusion, it's clarity. The paperwork doesn't matter. The theories don't matter. The record now reflects admissions. This is why judges warn defendants about self-representation. Not because the court is afraid of sovereign arguments, but because people like this don't realize when they're sinking themselves. If you're watching this thinking he's still confident, understand this. Confidence doesn't change consequences.
That's correct.
Okay, no, still. Because I'm assuming that he hasn't married this woman or legitimized that child.
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
We're going to start doing stuff the right way. Until those things happen, he is not the legal parent of that child. If folk just want to come out here and just be having babies, that's on them. But understand the situation it puts you in when you don't have those things in place. And so, no, he's not to have any contact with the baby, not through the grandmother. The grandmother can't call her. No, y'all can't see the baby unless unless the Superior Court of Clayton County or the court where the baby resides decides that there's a visitation that has been set up due to a legitimation petition that has been filed. So this is the sacrifice you're gonna make. When we start doing things the right way, then we don't have these issues. But no contact with KN Frazier or the child of KN Frazier. No, Grandma, no. Come on up, ma'am. See, your grandson is in this situation because somebody's always taken up for him, and he's not getting responsibility for the things he's doing.
I understand that, Your Honor, and thank you for allowing me to speak. But what we did, his mother and I, when they were having their spats, we only go pick up the baby now, or me or his mother.
And you shouldn't have to do that because they should be grown enough. If they're grown enough to have a baby, they should be grown enough to co-parent. But anytime the grandmama and the mama have to get involved in transporting the baby because they can't get along, that tells me that they're immature and shouldn't have had the baby in the first place. So he needs to grow up. And no, I'm not going to facilitate that. No, ma'am.
Well, actually, it was his idea.
I don't care.
Not to have the interaction.
I don't care. He had a baby with that woman. If he can't now co-parent with her, that tells me something about the fact that they shouldn't have even had a baby together. So no, y'all can't have any contact with her until such time as that baby is legitimized through the courts.
And what court do you do that?
Superior Court. And that's not your job, ma'am. That's his job.
I just like to have the information.
I get that, but we are raising trifling men. We're doing so much for them that we're not raising men. We're raising little boys that some other woman is going to be burdened with taking care of. Even when if he gets back with Kay and Frazier, she going to have to do everything for him because you and his mama are coddling him. There was a time in this country where once you left your parents' house, you were responsible and you had to make your way and be responsible. Every successful person I know, including myself, you get from your parents instructions when you finish high school. Hey, I don't know what you're going to do. College, military, work, but you can't live here. And we are so busy coddling. I know he has a place now, but we're so busy coddling, especially young men. We seem to be wanting to raise women to be responsible. You got to go out and get a job. You got to do this. You got to do that. But parents continue to coddle these young men. And so they end up not being responsible for themselves or anybody else. He's a parent now, so he's grown. So anything that happens on his behalf or his child's behalf, he has to handle it. Y'all need to stop stepping in.
I respect what you just said, but in the case,
no buts.
He stepped in and is taking care of her daughter that is 4.
So
and my family and everybody that knows him respects him as a good father. So I cannot let it be said that he's not a good parent.
I didn't say he wasn't a good parent. I said they weren't mature enough to co-parent.
I recognize that, but I do want it to be on record that he is.
No, I didn't say he wasn't a good parent, and there is a path to him being able to parent his child. I told you what it is. But what I'm saying to you is you and his mama can't live his life for him. And as long as y'all are doing for him, then he won't be able to do for himself.
Thank you for that, Your Honor.
I'm just saying, you recognize what I'm saying. When you left your parents' house, how old were you?
18.
And did they say you never went back, did you?
Never went back.
Okay, this man is 25, and I'm gonna tell you what my grandmother said. My grandmother raised 13 children, and you know what she said? She said, I have never had to stand bond for any of them. But you know what she also said? If you do something, don't call me. She's right. I raised you to be responsible. I raised you to do the things that you should know how to do. And so of her 13 children, none of them had to stand in a courtroom or come get them or call my grandfather to come get them because I've raised you. So now you're on your own to be responsible the way I taught you to be. And we have gotten so far away from that. We got kids now telling their parents off, taking their parents' vehicles.